St. Peter's against Purdue. Purdue, 12.5-point favorites, a total 135, Fez.
I'm going to lean to St. Peter's, and here's why. So Purdue, in the first round, they get to play close to home. They get to play in Milwaukee. I imagine that's probably like a 4-hour drive from West Lafayette. And now the venue obviously favors St. Peter's because, they're in Jersey, so they can't be very far from Philly. And I'm sure anyone in that Philly area is going to back the underdog. So it's one of those games that'll get rated as a neutral, but I think a very big advantage to St. Peter's. I do have a question for Mackenzie. I always struggled with this. When I'm driving up, and I'm sure you've done this a couple times, if I have to go to the north side of Chicago, far north, and I'm driving up from Indiana, do I go through the city of Chicago or do I take 294 all the hell around?
You have to go through the city of Chicago. Maybe on some days on a Friday afternoon, it'll take a little bit longer. But you know where I'm going with this. You're going straight down Lakeshore Drive for the final leg of that trip. And that's a view and an experience that I wish on every one of our listeners. You got to check out Lakeshore Drive. Greatest street in the world. Some say New York, West Side Avenue's up there. No, Lakeshore Drive.
Cruising on down Lakeshore Drive. Tomorrow is another day. LSD, Lakeshore Drive, one of the underrated songs that everyone in Chicago knows of, but you probably don't know that.
I don't.
Yeah.
I've
Mackenzie, you of
Lakeshore
course
Drive.
know LSD, right?
100%. Water
Yes.
on the driver's side.
Pretty blue lights along the way, helping you right on by. The pretty blue lights are a reference to the police cars on Lakeshore Drive, by the way. Pretty blue lights.
Well, there you go.
So it's a good song to play. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and all the people have gone away. You and me on Lakeshore Drive. Tomorrow is another day. Okay, I'm done with that.
I question how much home court there is for St. Peter's. Their enrollment's like 2,300 kids.
Oh, but it's the person without the dog in the fight. It's the person. Do you think all those people rooting for Rocky Balboa were Rocky Balboa fans
Or Creed haters? Was that what you're saying?
Yes. You know what? You get behind those people are for you, Rock. And those people will be for anybody with a little 15 penciled next to their seed number against a Midwestern team that has stumbled far, far away from home.
Yeah, the other two, I think Purdue will have a good contingency there, but UCLA, North Carolina, I expect them to be firmly represented as well. There's some, obviously those two blue bloods, Purdue not a blue blood, but they'll have a crowd. It feels like it matters less to me. It boils down to St. Peter's played the best offensive game of the season against Kentucky. We've been looking at this site at shot quality and really digging into it a little bit more. Shot quality had them losing that game by 22 points.
Layup drill.
Kentucky missed layups all day. Kentucky missed free throws all day. And then shot quality said that they should have lost to Murray as well. Yeah. So
is that right?
Yeah. So this St. Peter's team, things are just falling their way right now. But now they face another team like Kentucky that had massive physical edges, but one that just plays much cleaner offense. Purdue is so slick on offense. All the things I talked about last week, and listen, I'll eat shit when I have to. Kentucky being my best bet on the first round pod. Disastrous. There's no way around it. But what I said was going to happen, that St. Peter's physically had no answer for Oscar Tshiebwe, was absolutely right. 30 points, 16 rebounds, 11 of 16 from the field, 12 free throw attempts. Something tells me Zach Edey or Trevion Williams, one of the two bigs for Purdue, or both, are going to have a very similar line. And
I think Ivy's a little bit faster than the St. Peter's players also.
I think that he could be a factor as well. The Purdue bigs are just physically overwhelming to a small Peacock front court. And here's another thing. Purdue gets to the line. 46 free throws in that game against Texas. 46.
Would Texas get like 14?
Something like that.
Yeah,
but that's the problem, though. Purdue, they're like, when you've got a small front court, like Texas does, like St. Peter's does, and you've got to defend these two giants, This isn't like Drew Timme and Chet Holmgren, who are two good post players. These are two giant men.
A lot of it comes down to everyone slapping at Edey, and do they call that or do they not call
Yes.
it? You know, it's like Shaq in the middle, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, I wouldn't quite call. I don't want to compare Zach Edey to Shaq,
Sure.
but yes, the way they call it is a big factor.
You could call a foul on every play or not.
Yes,
Right.
And St. Peter's 348th in opponent free throw rate. They send guys to the line. That's what they. Like I mentioned that they did it against Kentucky. Kentucky just didn't make a free throw to save their life. Purdue lives at the free throw line, and in St. Peter's 3 games against high major competition, St. John's, Providence, Kentucky, opponents took just under 30 free throws per game. So if you're going to put them on the line 30 times, boy, that's scary for me. I also think the buzz that's now. I mean, it's basically decided that Shaheen Holloway is going to be the next coach at Seton Hall. Kevin Willard did him no favors by recommending him on his way out the door. Mm-hmm. So now you got a St. Peter's team this is the greatest time of their lives, and now they can't stop hearing about their coach possibly leaving.
And there's always I never like the fact of the team they go to the tournament, St. Peter's, and they're all in, knowing that is their Final Four because they're not going to be able to advance in this tournament. And somehow they do. I can only imagine the blood alcohol levels that this team blew on Sunday night coming home.
So, and especially when you're talking about Seton Hall, you're talking about your coaches leaving you for a team of guys that these guys Seton Hall didn't want them. That's why they're at St. Peter's, because Seton Hall said, no thanks. So I just think it's a kick in the balls to them. And I've been clearly burned by the magical moment of St. Peter's. It just can't last forever. And the physical matchups in this game are just too much for me. So I like Purdue in this game.
I'm not laying 12.5.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But this is
especially a team that doesn't play defense. What'll happen is Purdue will shoot 44 free throws. They'll only make 28 of them, and you'll blame the non-cover on bad free throw shooting.
You're right. Then maybe the way for me to attack this game is to look at the Purdue team total over. So maybe that's what I'll. Mackenzie, can you find that for me real quick? That may be a better thing than for me to lay 12.5, because I know Purdue's going to get theirs. I know they are. They're too good. They're too big, and they're not going to do the nonsense that Kentucky did in that same situation.
Looking at 73.5 over under for Purdue.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take over.
Doesn't that seem like
that seems low, doesn't it?
How are they not going to get 73? What's the total in this game?
It's 135, which is low for an average Purdue game. But St. Peter's in the analytics is way up there defensively. But I don't believe against this competition. We saw them, they gave up in the 90s against St. John's and Providence early this season. Again, the Kentucky game was the biggest anomaly, and it's changed everyone's mind about what the baseline of St. Peter's is. So I'm fading that. That's it. All right.
What am I doing wrong in this? It should be 74 to the total in the game's currently what?
135.
So it should be 74-61. So okay, and it's 12.5 points. You're right. All right. 73.5.
I'll take it.